Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB, and download the app. It is a great app. It helps you build winning lineups. It's that simple, really. Like, I could tell you more, but it's that simple. It builds winning lineups. You get the lineup optimizer. You get the value tools, the stack tools, the projected ownerships, the chats, and so much more. So much fun, all the goodies. So go to Google Play Store, Apple App Store, download the app, and enjoy it with LineStar and all the fun stuff and things that you find with myself on Twitter, at BDentric, and my co-host, as always, at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how are we doing on this lovely evening?
It's a great sports day, man. We had all the baseball going. We're rapidly approaching the break here. The Suns won game one of the finals, so exciting sports night. Bryce Harper hit a non-solo home run. I mean, you talk about history, you know.
Yeah, and the Mets still don't know how to call a rain delay early. Like, they still don't know how to. Like, they're great at that. They're outstanding.
The best part of that, we leave Burns off the slate, and now we get Brett Anderson put back into it. Boo!
Yep, that's horrible. That's horrible. It's likely a day-night doubleheader tomorrow, which could make things
so
weird.
Maybe we get nobody. Yeah.
So give me a 7-inning game. It might not even be on the slate. Who knows how that's going to go? That's a mess, but it's frustrating because the rain was clearing up, and like a half hour after it was postponed, it hadn't rained the rest of the night. So like the field might have been in bad conditions, but most said they could have played the game. So it's just a fun one. Fun. Jacob deGrom, they protected their prized possessions, what that was. But they knew that going into it, so you just call the game early. What's so hard about this, people? But, yeah, other than that, it was a great night. Really was a good night, especially with the Bats, Orioles, Phillies, like you mentioned. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun playing DFS on Tuesday. So
I mean, I just picked up Heath Embry in some season-long leagues, and he immediately gets me a loss with no earned runs. Like, that was fun. So
yeah, well, if it makes you feel any better, it's another Luis Castillo when I don't get another one.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's so much fun. So, yeah, it's baseball in 2021. Good times. But what else is good times is there's a 5-game early slate. Again, if you go download that sneaky little app, you'll get everything you need for the 5-game early slate. It's a doozy. I'll tell you that much. It's an absolute doozy. But we're here to break down the 9-game main slate for you. Again, we don't know if the Mets game is going to be on the main slate when you wake up in the morning and download this podcast. So I'm just going to throw that out to you right now. Could be an 8-game slate. But for now, we'll kick things off. Dodgers at the Miami Marlins on this one. We have no total because it's a bullpen game. The Dodgers are apparently going with Bickford to start, David Price to follow, more bullpen after that. And then the Marlins are going with David Hess and potentially more bullpen after that. It's a messy situation. Would you rather have the bats or just pass on this game as a whole?
No, I'll take some bats. I like the fact that we're getting into, bullpens quick in this game. We know that. So, if you want to pay up for Muncy, Taylor, Turner, Lux, any of these Dodgers that have been hitting, it makes sense to me. There have been some of these Marlins have been hitting real well. Duvall, Cooper, Marte, Joe Paxton's getting traded has been decent. Jesus Aguilar's hitting for a nice average. Aguilar's kind of once again in that, hitting for average and not for pop stuff, but he's a big boy. That power is going to come. So being at 31 and 29, I think is a decent buy today. So I'll take some bats here.
Yeah, Aguilar had that run that you were all over earlier, but the power, it'll come back eventually. I'll keep going to Garrett Cooper, who's just crushing everything right now. He even stole a bag the other night. Cooper and Marte be my guys, but as a whole, I'm just not all in on this game. There's other spots I like a lot, but I get it. If you want some action, you can definitely go there. Toronto at Baltimore, much more my speed. Hyun-Jin Ryu versus Matt Harvey. Over under, dun, dun, dun. 10.5 on this one. Ryu's 83 on DK, 88 on FanDuel. Harvey doesn't matter because he got lucky last time and it ain't happening again. So are you in on Ryu or is it all about the bats on this one?
No, it's about the bats again here. Ryu, he just hasn't looked the same since the sticky stuff is gone. So he might be one of those that we're folding into that category. So I'm not going to pay for him. Pat Valleca has a good PVB versus him, 5 for 16 with a double and a bomb, hitting 312 against him. So if he's in the lineup, he's a good buy. Minimum on both, 2,000 on each. Springer is 5 for 10 with 3 homers against Harvey. So maybe I was a day early on that home run call for Springer yesterday. Vlad Jr. is 3 for 5 against him. And then just go with some hot hitters. Cedric Mullins is back on it, 35 and 34. I don't know why his price won't come up, but I love it. So fine by me. Ramon Urias, you mentioned him yesterday. He's actually a cheaper on DK guy, 26 and 27. Austin Hayes, 28 and 27. And then the normal bats for Toronto, if you want any of those guys, plus, Simeon, Bichette, Gurriel, whoever, So I'm definitely a stack either side of this game.
There's a trend you're going to see, especially on DK on this slate, and FanDuel a bit, but especially on DK. Almost all the guys we like in great spots are cheaper on Wednesday than they were on Tuesday, which is always fun to do. So I love going back to the Orioles. I was all over them on Tuesday. The fact you mentioned Cedric so cheap. I've been playing Ramon Urias, another double-digit fantasy night. Severino's cheap. He went deep on Tuesday. Orioles, great cheap stack. Flip side of the Toronto, I've talked about the usual suspects. Humphreys got the home run call with Vlad on Tuesday. Kudos there. But you can be different by going Lourdes Gurriel. He's cheap, 39 3K. He went deep on Tuesday. I said he's heating up. He's playing very, very well right now. His price isn't doing anything. Grichuk went deep. So you can play with those other guys in the lineup and get some nice value as well. So I definitely like a game stack here. Your Vlads, your Springer, your Simeons, your Bichettes are going to be popular. You can still play them, but get a little different somewhere, and that's where the Gurriels, Grichuks, and some of those O's come into play. We'll cover Milwaukee and New York right now. Just beware, this might not be happening. So we have currently it's Brett Anderson against Robert Stock. Are those Anderson prices accurate?
No, those are Burns prices. So
yeah, those are Burns prices. I was about to go, holy crap!
Yeah,
oh my God, DraftKings.
What happened to Brett Anderson?
Holy, he's the Incredible Hulk now. Yeah, I'm interested in bats in this game of bat. But if it's a 7-inning game, I usually just pass.
Yeah, like you said, if it is a doubleheader, we're going to pass. Probably won't be on the slate anyway. But if they don't go doubleheader and they just stick it out, Adames, Jace Peterson has been hitting. Jackie Bradley's cheap and he's been hitting. Avi Sale, and on the Mets side, Francisco Lindor, Dom Smith, Brandon Nimmo, since he came back, has been good, and James McCann, as you mentioned yesterday, been hitting. But I don't expect this game to go.
Yeah, if it does go, I want all the Brewers versus Stock. Like you mentioned, Peterson, Adames, if Urias is there, Avi, I want them all. Even Yelich is starting to heat up. So I love a Milwaukee stack. If it's a 9-inning game and if Robert Stock is starting, so that's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. And, we can keep going with that if you want, but that's another podcast. Philadelphia at the Chicago Cubs. No total because it's Wrigley Field. I will say 35 to 40% chances of rain in this one. So that's a bummer. That's a big bummer because pitching's not great on this slate. And Zach Wheeler's 10-3 on DK and 11-2 on FanDuel, and I absolutely love him on this one. So I'm going to lock him in for now, but just beware.
He's the only one. I mean, there's other pitchers you can take. He's the only one I'm confidently putting out there is Wheeler, and the rain, like you said. I mean, his last 2 starts, a lot of guys are going south. He's had 17 strikeouts in those last 2 starts. 10 out of his last 11 are quality. Mills has he was great last time out. So I probably wouldn't throw him out there with the way the Phillies have been hitting recently. But he had 9 strikeouts in his last start. So I get him as a cheap play too. But with the rain, that kind of sucks. If you're looking at PVB, Jason Hayward, who did go yard on Tuesday, 10 for 27 with 2 doubles, 2 homers against Wheeler. Chris Bryant is 3 for 7 against him as well. And then Hoskins, the entire Phillies lineup hit tonight. So just anyone you want out of there. And then on the Cubs side, Baez, Contreras, Marisnik, whoever,
Yeah, I love Wheeler. The Cubs offense is dreadful, as we know. Like, they put up 10 runs on Tuesday, great. But going into Tuesday, they've been striking out over 30% of the time versus righties in the last month, hitting below 200. They've just been abysmal. So I love Wheeler on this slate. I hope the weather changes. I really do. And I love the Phillies bats. Like, these are two things I had circled on this slate. In love with another team where the Phillies are so much cheaper than they were. Harper was $5K on Tuesday. He's 4,600 against Mills. I'll take it. Like, I will stack the snot out of the Phillies again. Didi's only 33. Alec Baum's still cheap. Mention Hoskins. Segura. McCutcheon's super cheap as well, like 3,200 on DK. I love Philadelphia in this one. Just cross your fingers that it plays. I'm willing to risk the bats in a potential weather situation. It's going to be tough to do Wheeler after getting burned by DeGrom on Tuesday, but we'll have to keep an eye on that one as things progress on Wednesday. Oakland at Houston. That pitcher's deal we wanted. Bogman, about that pitcher's deal we wanted. Did not happen. So we have Wednesday. Sean Manaea versus Luis Garcia. Over under of 9 on this one. Manaea's 99 on DK, 92 on FanDuel. Garcia 96 and 97. Either of these pitchers stand out to you?
I mean, I like both of them. They're both a little expensive for what they bring to the table, I would say tonight. But I mean, Garcia, 3 walks and 4 earned runs are season highs. That was his for Garcia in his last start. Probably still in play though at 9,600. And I'll go with the cheaper of these options. So on DK, I'll take Garcia. On FanDuel, I'll take Manaea. Manaea gave up 4 in his last start, but his 2 starts against Houston have been quality, but only 7 strikeouts in those 12 innings against Houston. So not the best options, but on this slate, they're decent. So if you want to go with bats here, there's some PVB data against Manaea. 4 for 12 for Tucker with a double, 2 bombs, 6 for 15 for Maldonado, 2 bombs and a triple, 11 for 36 for Yuli with 4 doubles and a bomb against him. And then Chas McCormick has been hot, and he's cheap, 2,400. Jordan Alvarez, Michael Brantley. And on the A side with Moreland and COVID protocol, Schwindel's been playing. He's bottom barrel on DK, 2,300 on FanDuel. Jed Lowry and Sean Murphy as well have been hot.
Yeah, I like Garcia tonight at 96 on DK. I can definitely go there. It's going to be risky. Like, the A's finally woke up on Tuesday. I still think they're struggling quite a bit. So I'll take my chances there. But Garcia brings that strikeout upside we want to see. And on this slate, like you said, it's ugly. It's disastrous when it comes to pitching. So Garcia, I'll run out there at 9,600. I don't mind some Astros bats because I'm always team Fade Manaea. He's been good this year. I've had to take my medicine with Fade Manaea. But if any team can get things going against Manaea, I have faith in the Houston Astros. Correa, Altuve, and company can do some damage. So if you want to go there, you can. Not my favorite to stacks, but you can definitely go there. Colorado at Arizona. Sensatella versus the bullpen. So you got Sensatella, who's not great. You got Castellanos coming out. He's gone no more than 2 innings, and you get one of the worst bullpens in baseball. It's the road Rockies against a great offensive situation. Like, I want to game stack this game. At the same time as these two offenses, you're just like waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Sensatella. 2 out of his last 3 have been quality. His 3 starts against Arizona this year have been pretty solid. He has 5 earned runs in 17 2/3 innings. That's a 2.55 ERA. I think he's in play. So there is some PVB data against him on the D-back side. Christian Walker's 8 for 17 with 3 doubles and 2 homers. I don't know if he played in any of those games earlier in the year against Sensatella. 5 for 10 for Rojas with a bomb. 10 for 24 for Nick Ahmed. I mean, Nick Ahmed doesn't hit 417 against a lot of pitchers, but he has been good against Sensatella. And then there's bats on the Rocky side, too, that have been hot. And you want Rockies bats because it's a bullpen game for the D-backs. Elias Diaz, Trevor Story, Garrett Hampson, Brendan Rodgers, any of those guys, you know, pretty much any Rocky you want to play, I'd be on board with. So that's what I got for this game.
Yeah, I like a road Rocky stack, and that's terrifying because they are just disastrous on the road. But you get this Arizona bullpen, you got to take advantage of it. You got some value plays you mentioned, plus some other studs with the Rockies you can build around. I don't mind Sensatella. I did make a note that, like, the slate's so bad, if you need a cheap pitcher, he's probably the only one I feel okay with. So I guess an SP2 on DK. Wouldn't use him on FanDuel, but an SP2 on DK, I could see that as an option. And otherwise, the D-backs are so cheap again. You mentioned Walker, Rojas. You got Peralta, Pavin Smith, Reddick. They're all super cheap if you want to go down there and stack up. Like, you could game stack this game and get expensive pitchers if you need to. Probably don't need to because other guys are valued. We talk about how cheap the Phillies and the Orioles are, but there is a lot to like in that game if you need to spunk it up, because I could see a ton of offense in Arizona. St. Louis at San Francisco. Johan Oviedo, Alex Wood over under 8.5 on this one. Oviedo 64 on DK, 56 on FanDuel, Wood 85 and 83. I'm in on Alex Wood as St. Louis just cannot hit a lefty to save their life right now.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Alex Wood, I'm in on too. High K upside, and the cards haven't been hitting, so looks like a good start. He's a nice price at 85 and 83 as well, so I'm in on it. There's a little PVB data against him. Tommy Edman is 3 for 3 against him. Like I said, I usually don't like to put guys with fewer than 5 at bats on the PVB data, but 3 for 3 with a bomb is pretty good against Wood. 3 for 8 for Carpenter if he's in the lineup, double and a bomb. 8 for 30, a 267 average with 4 homers for Goldie against Wood. A lot of D-backs and Giants matchups there. Slater, Crawford, Ruff have all been hitting for your Giants. Bader has been hitting. O'Neill is a little banged up. I probably wouldn't mess with him, but Bader at 27 and 3,000, another cheaper on DK guy, might be a decent sneaky bat.
Yeah, Wilmer Flores is one of the hottest Giants right now, so I like him. Very affordable on both sides. And then you can put your Duggars, your Dickersons, who's very cheap on Wednesday, and build around there and see what the lineup looks like. Yastrzemski's swinging another good stick tonight on Tuesday. I don't mind going against Oviedo. He's been good and bad because he puts just a lot of contact. And this Giants team, they're starting to heat up again, I think. So I don't mind them a little late night action for some value. Again, that's why it's hard to go to the D-backs per se when you got other teams out there. So I don't mind using some Giants, and definitely on Wood as those cards versus the lefty. Not good, Bob. Not good. We got a couple games left on this slate before we get there. If you could give a rate and review on iTunes, that'd be much, much appreciated. That would help the podcast out a ton. Also, if you prefer to watch the show instead of just listen to it, you can go to the LineStar YouTube channel, give a subscribe and a thumbs up there. We'd really, really appreciate it. All right, New York Yankees at the Seattle Mariners. Domingo Germán, Yusei Kikuchi, over under 8.5. Germán 77 on DK, 65 on FanDuel. Kikuchi 93 and 9,000 in Bogman. The Yankees are going off on Tuesday night, and I still want to use Yusei Kikuchi because he has been absolutely amazing over the last 10+ starts.
Yeah, I mean, in his last 4 specifically, 4 quality starts in a row, 6 strikeouts in all 4 of those games. So yeah, I would roll him. You know, I understand an argument for Germán. I did not like Taillon tonight, and he was great. So I get it, but so because of that, I understand an argument for Germán. But I'm gonna stick with liking Kikuchi, which kind of makes me off on bats in this game. I mean, if you want to throw out some Yankees, Torres is cheap. Has been hitting though. Stan, who hit that absolute laser today. That got out of the park. That might have been one of the fastest home runs I've ever seen. 48 and 3,700. Aaron Judge, if you want to pay up. And then on the Seattle side, Fraley, Crawford, France. Not many guys hitting in that lineup.
Yeah, they're not hitting it at all because I always fade Taillon. He was great, but I'm okay going back to him if you want because no one's going to roster them. And Germán hasn't gone more than 4 1/3 in 4 straight starts. He's given up at least 3 runs in all 4 of those starts, not striking out a ton of guys. He's walking guys. He's giving up home runs. He's a guy you can exploit. Maybe the Mariners are just that bad. I don't know, but you mentioned Fraley. Seager is a solid look as well. It's tough, though. That team just isn't hitting, like you said. So you got to kind of pick and choose. I like J.P. Crawford. If you want to go that route, I can go there. But it's just tough to stack them when they're not that good. Maybe have a one-off or two, like a mini stack, because Germán just isn't good anymore. So I think you can take advantage of that for sure. Last game of the evening, Washington Nationals, San Diego Padres. Corbin, Paddock, over under 8.5. Corbin was supposed to go Tuesday. Now he's going Wednesday. Yes, another stack time. Paddock's 87 on DK, 76 on FanDuel. Are you going in on Chris Paddock tonight?
Nah, gonna pass here. Corbin, look, I'm not. He had those 3 quality starts and he got smashed in his last game. No way. I expect more of him getting smashed. Paddock, he had been getting better, and then they took away the sicky stuff. His last 2 starts, 8 earned run in 9 1/3 innings. So pass on both pitchers here. I'm going to stick with hitters. Myers, Machado, Trey Turner, Juan Soto, Bell, Castro. Dude, I forgot Alcides Escobar was a professional baseball player until he got traded to the Nationals. Yep. But he's hit with them, and he's cheap, 2,000, bottom of the barrel on each. So if you're looking for a super cheap bat, he's been hitting a little bit. Tatis, obviously, Hosmer, Profar, wherever you want to go as far as the Padres go, I'd be fine with.
Yeah, Escobar hit second on Monday and led off on Tuesday. which is just insane. Absolutely insane. So yeah, he's dirt cheap. If you want a value play, that's definitely one of the better ones out there. I'm good with stacking up Washington. Josh Bell's been sneaky good over the last 2 to 4 weeks. If you want to really dig in on his numbers, been really good. The other usual suspects are in play. I obviously want a San Diego Padres hammer here because Patrick Corbin, no. Myers went deep on Tuesday. You got Machado, who's on fire right now. Cronenworth even's hitting lefties. They're all very, very much in play. So Padres, yes, it's pitching so bad you can stack it like almost every game. So it's so much fun. Recapping things real quick, Bogman, who are your top pitchers on this slate?
I mean, it's Wheeler by a mile, and then I guess my 2 is Garcia. I like Wood and Senzatella and Kikuchi.
Yeah, Wheeler, Garcia, Kikuchi, Wood, I guess Senzatella if we have to. That's where I'm at as well. So we're on the same page as there. Now, what are your favorite stacks tonight? Because like I said, we could stack everywhere. So what's your favorite stacks?
Yeah, we could stack everywhere. I guess my favorite would probably be probably
your top 3 or so.
The Blue Jays against Baltimore is probably number 1. The Dodgers against Hess and the bullpen there, and maybe Miami against the Dodgers bullpen too, since it's just a weird day. So I think those are my favorite stacks.
Yeah, Toronto-Baltimore game's great, so I'll go Baltimore side there just to be different. I like Philadelphia versus Mills. Keep running that hot train out there. And then give me, if I only can pick 3, give me San Diego. We'll go to San Diego. But, yeah, you can have tons and tons of fun. What else is tons and tons of fun? Following LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB because they tweet out all kinds of great content, including the home run calls of the day. Bogman, myself, and Ryan Humphreys each give a home run call. And if you retweet the home run call of the day, 3 lucky retweeters will get chosen to pair up with each one of us. And if our guy goes deep, boom goes the dynamite. You get some free swag. And swag is flying off the shelf like it's an Oprah special. So come join the fun there. Bogman, on Wednesday, July 7th, who is your home run call of the day?
I got to get back on the train today. So give me Tatis Jr. against Corbin. I think that should be an easy call. So I just want to get back on the horse. Let's go. Yeah,
I like that one quite a bit. That is not too shabby. I'm going to get on a specific course as well. And I'm praying it doesn't rain, and I'm going back to Bryce Harper. Like he's stroking it very, very well.
The only reason I didn't say that was because of the rain. But Harper has been great too.
I'll have a backup play when they text me and say, "Hey, your game's rained out. Who do you want?" So that's another reason to follow LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app. They will tweet that out because you'll see them tweet me live in front of everybody. Hey, Bubba, who's your next pick? Because your game's rained out, you moron. So, yeah, you'll get all that kind of fun stuff. But I'll take Harper. Bogman will take Fernando Tatis Jr. Humphreys will probably pick another winner because that's what Humphreys does. So check it out. Follow all the good stuff. Check out Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at BD Intric. We'll be back with you guys on Thursday for another fun-filled day of DFS action. But for now, good luck on your Wednesday. See y'all later.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar app On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to LineStarApp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.